Hello there. What is going on, everybody? Today we are going to be doing a Saber tank list for the Republic. We are trying to put together a list using the Saber tank. I've had some people asking about some good meta Republic lists, and there are definitely some popular Saber tank builds that are going on right now. And I figured I would try to take my attempt at it and try to see what we can come up with. And so I'm going to be putting one of these together for you guys today. And we're going to talk about the design decisions that go into this build and some of the the command cards and all of that stuff. If you guys are new here to the channel, we are still giving away a $70 Amazon gift card for a Shadow Collective core set. If you want to have a chance to enter to win that, you just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. It's as simple as that. Also, big thanks to today's sponsor, Luxury Playstyle. Full metal tokens over at luxuryplaystyle.com. Be sure to check those out. They're absolutely amazing. They're going to make you want to play your game more. They're shiny, they're heavy, they're double-sided. You're going to love them. Use code Crabbok VIP and you're going to save 15%. And orders of $35 or more that use that code are going to get a free lightsaber nunchuck Crabbok token thrown in to their order for free. So definitely check that out. Head over to luxuryplaystyle.com. All right, so we're going to be looking at the Saber tank today and trying to put a list together using the Saber tank. It is a expensive, beautiful unit. It's got 9 health, but it has red defense die and armor. Armor combined with a red defense die means this thing is going to be very, very hard to kill. It does have weak point on the sides and rears, but it's only weak point 1. And it has outmaneuver on top of that. So if you get dodge tokens, it can cancel crits. With those, of course, we'll be trying to find ways for this to get dodge tokens, or at least have the availability to spend dodge tokens in this build. It also has 6 dice at range 1 to 4. Lots of range on this thing. Plus, it is a speed 2 vehicle with a very large base, so it can move all around. It can almost always have a shot on almost anything at once. It's also hover ground, so terrain isn't going to really be too much of a factor for this thing. And it's got arsenal too. So in addition to its 6 dice, 2 of each color that it rolls with critical, impact, and fixed front, it also has the ability to fire a second weapon, and it has the upgrades to support that. So there's going to be kind of a triumvirate or basically a trinity, a holy trinity, so to speak, of things that we're going to need in this build to make this really work. And one of the things we're going to need is, of course, the Saber tank. Another thing is going to be Padme. With her exemplar, Padme is going to be able to take a standby action, and that's going to allow the Saber tank to fire twice. Now we've got a multiplier for an expensive 170-point unit. That is going to be extremely helpful. And the other thing we're going to put in here is also another multiplier, although it's more expensive than even the Saber tank, and that's going to be Yoda. Yoda is awesome, and he does an awful lot. And he is also, potentially a force to do some melee up close, protection for the Saber tank in case somebody tries to sneak around behind it. But he's also there to support the force, and he is going to be able to do a lot of really cool things. For one, he's got command cards that let everybody use his green tokens. He's got also other things like he can play guidance on Padme, allowing her to take a standby action, thus also chaining, a potential standby to someone like the Saber tank. Things like that are really, really cool. And frankly, he also can do some nasty melee stuff. He's also got red defense die and defensive surge, as well as offensive surge to critical. So Yoda's fantastic here in a lot of ways, but I think in this particular setup, he's going to be mostly used as a support, and then just a possibility of Yoda coming in as something more than support if the situation kind of gets out of hand. So these are going to be our main 3. Now we're going to be pretty light on the upgrades here. We're going to be pretty light, and the reason for that is that the Saber tank is expensive. So I'm going to start off with the Saber tank. We're not going to have too many upgrades everywhere else, and Yoda's going to be a little bit lighter as well. So with the Saber tank, I'm going to be putting a pilot on here. I'm going to put the veteran clone pilot. I'm going to have some clones. I'm going to have battle core. I almost said battle line. I've been playing a little bit of Age of Sigmar lately, but yeah, I'm gonna have the clone pilot to be able to allow myself to get dodge tokens, surge tokens, aim tokens potentially from other units, and that's going to be helpful. It's only once per round, but that's still something. and I like that. And it's once every round. It gives my core something to do when they're not getting objectives. I'm going to go with the twin laser turret. That's going to be 3 more black dice and an extra critical 1, which is going to be very cool. It gives me two surge to crit now when I'm attacking, and I like that. And by the way, this is not a fixed front, so I can split fire with this one if I want. So that's kind of cool as well. And I'm also going to put an ordnance on here, and you don't have to because you've already got 2 weapons. But I want to put armor-piercing shells in this one for Impact 3. In case I do go up against some nasty armor, I only have Impact 2 on my main gun, and I do have some critical, but I'm rolling so many dice. I want the option for a big impact shot just in case. This kind of allows this build to be a little bit more of an all-comers kind of build, and that I can really deal more strongly with either enemy saber tanks or the spider droids or anybody who is, AATs or snow speeders, that sort of thing. Anybody with heavy armor, I'll be able to kind of hopefully chew right through them with something like this. We've got Impact 3. We've got range 2 to 3 on this one, and this, of course, this one's going to be cycling, so we won't be able to do it every round. But in the off rounds, of course, we have the twin laser turret. And we may want to use this one more often than not. So it's going to be something that kind of depends on the situation. We do get a red die in this one, but I like the twin laser turret an awful lot here. But I wanted to be more prepared for heavy armor since I won't have that much impact in this build elsewhere. Now, I realize you're putting all your eggs in one basket. That's kind of the nature of this build, is putting all of our eggs in one basket with this Saber tank. So Padme, we're just going to give her vigilance. Vigilance is nice here. It's a way to keep dodge tokens out there, and that's going to be certainly a good thing. It'll if I have core that have dodge tokens, it'll allow extra opportunities for the veteran clone pilot to interact with them, or I can have her keep one of her own dodge tokens, which is good for anybody, especially if she does quick thinking, which again, Padme, a lot of times she's going to want to do quick thinking and then standby to allow the Saber tank to be able to spend all of those things, which is going to be excellent. So if for whatever reason the Saber tank doesn't need a dodge, she gets to keep an extra one. That's going to work out greatly, since also the Saber tank can use those dodges to cancel critical results, which is super. Again, a lot of survivability on the Saber tank, and Padme is helping. Yoda is going to only have a little bit of upgrades here. He's going to have Force Push, which is just incredibly important in case somebody comes in and tries to tie him up. And then we're going to have Force Barrier. This will be helpful to protect people like Padme in case she is getting somebody's trying to snipe her, bring her down a little bit. That's or my other core units, which is certainly an option. And so if we got other troopers out there, it's just a cool, awesome way to kind of keep him in the back. Hopefully near Padme, still in range of supporting the Saber tank and keeping everybody safe. That's all the upgrades we're putting on these 3. Now I know it seems rough to not put everything on Yoda, but that's where we're gonna stop for right now. So other things, I know I talked about this, the Saber tank survivability. I am going to put R2-D2 in this list. R2-D2 is going to give us, with Padme, a possibility for we can have potentially 2 secret mission in this list, which is really cool. But also R2-D2 is in there to repair our Saber tank. It's already pretty survivable, but if it does end up taking some damage, R2 can come in and repair this thing. He can repair twice, and he's got capacity to repair 2, so he can potentially heal up to 4 damage off of this thing, which is super. Or you can get a wounded, a damaged token off of this thing as well. So R2-D2 is just fantastic. He's going to really work into this build, and he's a moderately cheap activation, so that works. Now we are at 4 activations so far. We've used up a lot of our points, and so for our other options, we're going to go with phase 1s. I'm gonna put 4 phase 1s in here. Now, one of the things that you can potentially think about doing, once we have all of the rules for the Shadow Collective, I could potentially see putting a pike in here just by themselves to save up a little bit more points. You could free up a little bit with just putting a single pike in there. However, we don't have all of the how many, or you're allowed to include, if you don't take underworld connections and things like that. So I'm not going to include any pikes in this particular build, but I do want to point out that this would definitely help this build have more points for upgrades and be able to stretch a build like this even farther and give you more activations. But still, this gives us 8 activations. Now, the clone troopers are going to be mostly unupgraded, but I'm going to give one of them a clone medic. And this is, so we'll have basically 3 regular clone troopers, 1 clone trooper with the clone medic. The clone medic can still fire, and they're going to be able to heal a person. In case Padme or Yoda get kind of focused down, since they are so important, I wanted to have at least a little bit of healing capability in the list, and that brings us up to 799. So there's obvious risks here. Yoda and Padme are part of the important trinity to keep the Saber tank shooting over and over and over again. So your placement and location will be important for these guys. But we do have at least 8 activations. We have some other clone troopers that can go out and can take objectives. They can move out. They can they can grab the things that we need grabbed, and they can also be taking actions potentially to also support the Saber tank with the veteran clone pilot. So that's 799 points, 8 activations. Let's look at commands. All right, so we've got Yoda. This one is absolutely spectacular. Luminous beings are we. It gives him 2 aim, 2 dodge, 2 surge tokens, and friendly units can spend his green tokens. That's his green tokens. So that means he can do a standby on this turn, right? He can do a standby. He can also do guidance on Padme and then take a standby of his own, which is really incredible. And this is where the timing comes in. Like on a turn like this, I think you can have the Saber tank fire 4 times if I'm doing my math right. So basically the Saber tank can activate, it can shoot. Then Padme can go next, potentially, right, as each eligible unit. So Padme can go next, then she can take a quick thinking and standby. Then your opponent goes, maybe the tank triggers a standby, can fire again, potentially. Then Yoda can activate. You do give Padme a free standby, then Yoda can take a free standby. Then that's 2 more standby attacks from the Saber tank potentially. So that's all and then with lots and lots of extra tokens out there already. So crazy stuff. Again, just a wonderful card. All right, so that's Luminous Beings Are We. There is no try, which is this one is if Yoda has to attack. Which is good. It's Yoda and a trooper unit, so he can give that to Padme. Then she can, forward it over to the tank or something like that if you need to. And that's cool. But this also gets you Luminous Beings Are We back. And it's good to have that. Outmaneuver and Relentless being really important for Yoda. And then Size Matters Not. It fits into the whole thing. All of Yoda's command cards work great together. But this one is a little bit more about when he needs to just move and get in there and charge and or just to disengage. So this is a good for like end of the game for certain objectives when you need to get in position. Now for the rest of the upgrade cards, because in a lot of Yoda builds you'll just run Yoda's cards over and over again. You'll kind of cycle those. I'm going to put Blast Off in there. That's going to be good for R2 for just frankly is when he needs to make a mad dash on turn 6 for the end. I'll also, for our, that's both of our ones, we have another 2 and a 3. Diplomatic Cover is a good one. It gives, just having the option is really good. And if you decide not to play it, it makes for a really good first turn play so that Padme will have reliable ones. You'll have an extra surge token available for the tank. So it will now have at least 1 red defensive surge each round. So it makes for an excellent option. And then for our other one, I'm going to go with Aggressive Negotiations. This is just another great way to get tokens out there and to give free moves. And since Padme also has, she can give her order tokens to somebody else, so she can get 2 clone troopers closer to an objective, or give Yoda a free dodge or something like that. There's a lot of options that you can do to that. So I like that. Or she can also get herself a free token if she wants to take the order herself. And that's going to do it for our order. We got 2 1s, 2 2s, 2 3s. We're good to go. Now, battle plans. This one's always like one of the trickier parts for me, just because I think we want stuff that's going to have people moving, and force them to kind of get closer to you. So I don't think I'm going to want as many things that are going to hide let people hide. So like this one I might go against. I might not do sabotage moisture evaporators. Payload I think is going to be a good one. Bombing run seems like that'll be a good one. People will be wanting to come closer to you, and that's an opportunity for to get close enough to trigger standby off the tank. I think that's a good one. Key positions is definitely a possibility. The tank can move in to the middle potentially, and I think breakthrough. I think breakthrough is going to do it also. We don't have as many fast units, but we do have some. And then breakthrough also just does just crazy things with secret mission too. It can combo really well with secret mission. For our deployments, we're definitely going to do rollout since we have a tank. That's going to give us great position. We will do not as crazy about advanced positions, but I know it's a super popular one, and it does kind of work with secret mission because R2 can just cut across there. I kind of like that. But we'll go with advanced positions, and we'll go with danger close, which is a really good one for secret mission, and major offensive. I like major offensive. Now, as far as objectives, I'm definitely going to go with supply drop. I want my clones to be able to get extra arc welders, extra Bacta, things like that. Would be really helpful. And so that's a fun one. Plus, we can drop some of the supplies in positions that are maybe close to where the tank may end up. So if people start taking free actions to try to loot those things, I'm like, haha, let me now trigger standby. So that's a fun one. We've got minefield could be nasty. Could be nasty, that's for sure. We do have red defense dice on the tanks. Rapid reinforcements, I don't want that. I don't want people dropping off behind my lines. I don't want limited visibility here. I don't want to necessarily be reduced to that light of a range. But let's see. I'm gonna go with hostile environment, and I'm gonna go with minefield, and we'll go with maybe clear conditions for the last one. Fortified positions is pretty cool, but it's a little bit better if I've got the force lift for the barricades. I do kind of like that. Yeah, we'll go with clear conditions for the last one. And that's going to do it for this build. I want to hear what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments section. I'll put a link also in the video description so you can check it out there. But definitely check out Tabletop Admiral, good list builder, and consider running something like this. You'll be if you can get Yoda and Padme in the right positions, and if the terrain is favorable enough for you, this Saber tank can do absolutely tremendous things. And that'll be a really fun one. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today. I want to thank you all so much. Big thanks to my patrons who help make this video and all of these videos possible. Thank you for your continued support, and I will talk to you guys later. May the Force be with you. Live long and prosper. So say we all. Be excellent to each other, and party on.